Everyone who comes into your life is here to teach you something, one way or another. And this is really the way that we need to look at it. That every single person who enters your life is a teacher. And it's true, because when you think about it, everyone is a teacher in one form or another. We always have something to learn from every single person out there. Sometimes these might not be the lessons that we want to learn. Sometimes these lessons might suck. Other times, they might be great teachers. But regardless whether this person is the teacher you want or the teacher that you don't want, they are in your life for a reason. They are here to teach you something, and you can either listen to these teachings and figure out what it is that they're here to teach you, or you can push them away and you can get angry, or you can get resentful or upset, and you can blame the person for being in your life, even though there is some silver lining here and there is some reason why they are in your life. And when you start to perceive your life through this frame and acknowledge that you can learn something from every person that is coming into your life, and not only can you learn something, but many people come into your life specifically to teach you something. This is when you really start making some traction or some movement on your own personal growth and your spiritual growth. And the way that we take the quick road into personal growth is by acknowledging the lessons in everything. Acknowledging the lessons in every single person who comes into your life and saying, okay, why are you here? What can I learn from this experience? And how is this making me feel? So these people come into your life because there is something that you are supposed to learn from them. And don't get me wrong, sometimes these lessons are going to suck. They are going to really suck. But regardless, it is often these people who actually help us with our growth the most. So these teachers come in the form of people we don't get along with. Maybe they're bullies, maybe they are co-workers who are just making your life a living hell. Maybe they are the person who broke into your house and stole a bunch of stuff from you to teach you to let go of things. Perhaps it's the arrogant asshole that just rubs you the wrong way every time, and you don't know why you get triggered so much by this person, but you do. Otherwise, maybe this teacher is someone who abused you. Maybe they are someone who physically abused you, they sexually abused you. And I know I might be crossing some sort of line by saying this, and I might trigger a lot of people. Welcome, I'm also your teacher in that case. But it's true. Because even though these experiences suck with these people and we wish it never happened and it might cause us a lot of trauma, there is something to learn from these lessons. There is something to learn from these life experiences. And as long as we actually pay attention to why the universe gave us this particular lesson, then this is where we will start excelling in our spiritual growth, our personal growth, and life will become so much better. Because let me tell you, often the souls that pick the hardest lives do so because they want the hardest lessons. And these terrible lessons are the lessons that we grow the most. These are the lessons that we tend to evolve. So if you have a lot of people in your life who are just causing hell, don't blame the person. Don't blame the teacher. Recognize that this person is coming into your life for a reason, and instead of pointing the finger and blaming them and getting nowhere in the process by doing that, actually acknowledge that you signed this spiritual contract. You asked this person to come into your life and abuse you and hurt you and rub you the wrong way and do terrible things that have ruined your life and turned it upside down. Because whether you wanted it or not, these experiences happened and there is nothing that you can do about it. So you really just need to look at your perspective and decide, how are you going to proceed forward with this? Are you going to keep pointing the finger and hating on this person and feeling resentful and feeling jealous and feeling triggered for the rest of your life? Are you going to hold on to this trauma for the rest of your life and never outgrow it, never learn from it, never expand because of it? Or are you going to use these shitty life experiences as leverage? So you can actually leverage the lessons out of these terrible experiences that you had and learn something from them, grow a little bit from them, and become a better person than you were. Because I said it before, I'll say it again. These experiences happened. You can't go back in time. You can't revert this experience from happening, but you can decide how you progress forward. But how? You might be saying, well, look, mate, it's fucking easier said than done. You know what? I'm trying my best to learn from this situation and to heal and to grow from it. But sometimes these situations fucking suck and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm not telling you to ignore the pain. I'm not telling you to just brush it all away and take the high road and refuse to see the part of you that is wounded and hurt from this, because of course, that's not going to do you any good either. What you need to do is actually look into yourself and why you are experiencing these feelings, why you are experiencing these particular emotions when this person does this particular thing, when this person rubs you the wrong way. Why do they rub you the wrong way? Why do you get so angry when people say these certain things or touch on these certain subjects? Do you ever actually look at this? Do you stop for a moment and say, all right, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to sit with this emotion and actually feel it. I'm not going to project it. I'm not going to argue or blame this person, but I'm actually just going to feel this emotion and look into it. And this is really what it comes down to, because this is shadow work. This is looking at why people trigger you, why people cause these negative or these painful emotional reactions, and following it inside. Because your biggest instinct will be to project. Because we don't want to go into these places. We don't want to know why we are wounded and what is in there. This is a defense mechanism. This is the ego's way of saying, no, I'm not going in there. It's too painful. There's something there that I'm not ready to address. I don't want to go into it. So instead, I'm just going to defer the blame. I'm going to blame this person for making me feel this way. I'm going to get angry at this. I'm going to get angry at the situation. So let me give you an example. There have been a couple people in my life who always triggered me for some reason. It's not like they were bad people or anything like that, but I just felt triggered. And you know what the trigger was? Jealousy. And the reason why is because I saw them performing so much better in the things that they were doing, even though they seemed to be putting in much less effort. They seemed to just get by with life and they just cruised through it and everything seemed so easy for them, while I had to struggle for everything. I can guarantee you that these people came into my life because they wanted to teach me something. They wanted to show me that there is a wound there. There is some sort of trigger, and if I keep deferring it, then I'm not going to learn that lesson. But if I go into it and I start thinking about it and I start reflecting on it, then there is actually a very, very powerful lesson there. And instead of projecting my own frustration and my issues onto these people, what I ought to do instead is to thank them. It is the people that trigger me the most who are the greatest teachers. And I can almost guarantee you that it is the same way for you. What are you feeling and what sort of situations trigger these emotions? Do you feel jealousy? Do you feel shame? Do you feel resentment, anger, frustration? So are they teaching you to maybe let go of a particular situation, of a particular thing? Are they teaching you to step back and relax? Are they teaching you that you have a wound that is still there and they're pointing at it and they're saying, you need to look at this wound because something isn't right here, and unless you do the work and you do the inner work and shadow work, then nothing is going to change and you are going to be blocked in your evolution? Perhaps the person who abused you, they came into your life to teach you how to forgive. Maybe that was the reason you signed this contract with this person. Even though you've gone through a lot of trauma and you might still resent that person, perhaps can you see it in a way that you made the contract, you made the spiritual contract with that person for them to teach you this lesson. And again, this lesson might come in a sort of convoluted way. It might not be obvious at first, but the lesson is there, and it's probably the most powerful lesson you will ever learn, as long as you learn it. If you can see it in this way, and you see that the worst people in your life are the best teachers in your life, then maybe you will stop going in circles. And I have learned that if someone or something has triggered me and there's a reoccurring theme in my life, then I will meditate as a way to sit with this emotion. If someone is able to trigger an emotion, or if something comes out for some reason, if I feel triggered for some reason, then I will sit with this emotion. I will go into it and I'll say, okay, thank you for being here. What can you teach me? And it's when I'm receptive to these teachings and to these lessons, then that's when I can actually start getting these insights and these deeper understandings and ideas that are actually very, very valuable. Because it is these insights that help me grow the most. Even though I've had many, many great experiences with people, I've had wonderful chats, I've had beautiful connections, and I've learned a lot from some people in my life. I've learned a lot from my teachers, and God bless these people for being in my life. But none of these teachers can be as powerful as the people that trigger me. So if you are chasing your tail and you're in some sort of weird social dynamic or something's happening and you just can't seem to get out of it, then I bet you it's because you have not learnt the lesson from this situation yet. That this teacher, or let's say this contract, won't end until you actually learn the lesson from it. The situation will just continue. You will keep experiencing the same thing. And if you don't experience it from that person, then you'll experience it from someone else. Don't be afraid of your teachers, because they are here to help you, whether it looks like it or not. And ultimately, we're all in this together. We're all in this, creating this human web so that we can all learn, we can all evolve, the collective consciousness can evolve. And when you start to understand that, that it really is just orchestrated in this beautiful way so that we can learn more lessons and we can evolve even more by doing the nitty-gritty, by getting into these difficult situations and undergoing this hard work and meeting some people who will really push your buttons sometimes, this is how we can actually start stepping up. I hope this makes sense to you, because it really is a powerful teaching. It's something I have really started to embody throughout my own life experience, because I got tired of going in these loops and in these circles and feeling the same way again and again. So I learned to see life in a way where everyone is my teacher and everyone is here to actually ultimately serve my growth. Whether it comes in the form of, not being a pleasant experience for me, whether it really annoys me or it really gets on my nerves or causes me trauma or to undergo a lot of dark crap. Whatever it is, ultimately, everything is here to serve me on one level of my consciousness or another. And this perspective has given me a lot of happiness. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this sort of content and these sort of teachings, please comment, please like, please subscribe. Support me and my channel so I can reach more people and I can be a teacher to them when they need me the most. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.